When people move to the UK, whether to study, to work, or as a dependent, there's usually a lot of confusion about which bank account to open and the whole banking process in the UK. So now to understand it properly, let's go point by point. Starting with the first point, what documents you need to open your bank account. Now to open a bank account in the UK, it's very easy. All you need is your passport, your visa, and a proof of address. Now you'll have your passport and a copy of your visa, but a proof of address can be very confusing. So let me tell you, the basic proof of address can be your tenant agreement if you're living in a student accommodation. Now you can also get an enrollment letter from your university. Most of the universities now have made it so much easier that you can go onto your website, you'll find a portal there, you can log in with your university ID and you can download the letter which you can provide to the bank. And if you have moved there to work, wherever you have decided to stay, you'll get a rent agreement and that will be used as a proof of address. Now this slightly vary bank to bank. Some banks might not ask for your address. Some bank, what they have started to do is you'll provide them an address and at your address you'll get a post which will be used to verify your address. Now let's move on to a second point, choosing the bank. Now first of all, when we move to the UK, all of the bank accounts which are offered to us are practically the same and all of them offer a lot of things. There's student accounts, there's current accounts, savings account, and I can understand where the confusion comes from. But one thing which is very clear is that when you move abroad, you don't usually have a UK history. So the only bank account which most of the banks will allow you to open is their basic normal current account. And for 99.9% of us, that's all we need. Now, first of all, there are your traditional high street banks such as Barclays, NatWest, HSBC, Lloyds, Halifax, Nationwide, Metro Bank. I might be missing few. Anyway, so these are your banks where you can go and visit a branch. You can talk to a real human being and whatever query you have, whatever problem you have, you can get that sorted in a branch. Now, there are other type of banks which are becoming really popular in the UK in past few years. And they are your digital banks. Some of the examples are Revolut, Monzo, Monese, Starling Bank, Crew, Wise, and usually I kept seeing ad for a new banks. It's like, opening a shop. Anyway, choosing one of the banks is kind of like confusing because there are so many options. But to be honest, all of the banks offer the same features. You'll get your current account, which is your zero fees account. You will get a debit card, which you can add it to your Apple or Google Wallet. And you will use this as your mode of payment for 99% of the time, unless your phone does not support NFC. And if you're moving to the UK, you will not have a UK credit history and there's hardly any bank which will give you an overdraft feature. Overdraft facility is basically a loan where your balance is allowed to go in minus. So for example, if you have zero amount in your account, you are allowed to go up to certain amount like minus 500, minus 1000. And that's an overdraft. A lot of students who are from the UK get a very decent overdraft. But for international students or any other people who have moved to the UK, we don't really get all of these features. Now, a major difference between high street bank and digital banks is the amount of fees you pay. So if you have a high street bank, any bank like NatWest, Barclays or any other bank, and you decide to travel, let's say anywhere in Europe, if you use your debit card, you will pay a certain amount of fees plus a certain fixed charge as well. So these cards become very expensive if you're traveling, but most of the digital banks give you this facility for free. Now, another type of charges which high street banks have is if you use your bank in your home country. Let's say I have an ICICI bank and I use the ICICI bank inbuilt facility to send money to the UK and I send it to my NatWest account. NatWest will charge a certain amount to receive the money and obviously I will get a very poor rate and high fees from ICICI Bank as well. So if I'm transferring money between these traditional banks, the fees is usually very high. In these kind of transactions, the digital banks offer much lower fees, sometimes no fee at all, and this is where they get their edge. Now there are different kind of digital banks and between those they do offer competitive service, and that can be a separate video on its own, and I'm planning to do that in the future. Now if you just want to keep your digital account for all of your fees and everything, you can just keep that account and you can use it almost everywhere and you might not need another UK bank account. However, there are certain limitations to a digital account and the biggest one is depositing cash. Now you can pay into PayPoints and post office for your digital account, but they have started to charge certain amount for that. For example, Monzo charge £1 fees for the transactions and I think there's certain percentage if you are depositing cash with Revolut. Starling does not charge anything up to £1,000, but after that they also have a certain fees to deposit the money. You will not face this kind of problem if you have a traditional high street bank. You can go to any bank and you can deposit the cash there. So this is one of the biggest advantage of high street bank. Plus they are traditional bank, they're more settled bank. But for this video, if you're moving to the UK soon and you're confused about the banking system, here is what I have to say. So basically, as soon as you go to the UK or even before moving to the UK, you can open a digital bank account. Now on your first day in the UK, you will have a bank account with you. So after that, do your research. What I will suggest is look at the bank which is closest to you, like if you live in a remote area. And if you live near the city center, it probably won't matter because all of the banks will be around there. Next thing is the timing. Most of the banks do open around the same time. So Metro Bank used to offer very flexible hours, but I think they have reduced it as well. So what I have personally done is I have a couple of digital banks account, to be honest. Like I had Wise, Starling, and this Crew Bank. So all of these digital banks offer flexibility. And then my main high street bank is NatWest. I had this account since 2016, the first bank I opened, and this has been my main bank account for everything. So I use main high street bank to receive my salary, to set up any direct debits, and then I use a digital bank account to set up my budget. I transfer £300 or whatever your budget is to this digital bank, and I use this as my main account for my daily expenses. So in your day-to-day life in the UK, you will pay for a lot of things. And you know, having this main account which I had, and let's say I have to apply for a Schengen visa and they need my 3 months bank statement. If I keep using this NatWest account, and I have done this in the past, my statements used to be like this many pages, just because there's so many small transactions on there and it just used to stack up. So to not spam my main account, I use a digital account where there will be only few transactions on this. So if I am, you know, applying anywhere for a Schengen visa, I need my bank statement, last 3 months statement, it is usually clean. And then I have different digital accounts for the features they offer. For example, Starling, you can pay anywhere and the fees is 0. You will pay the live forex rate. Wise, I use Wise to transfer money from and to India. So this is great for that. Plus you can make unlimited digital cards with Wise. So let's say I'm buying something from a shady website where maybe I don't trust them, or if I'm, let's say, taking a trial for certain stuff and there's a chance I might forget to cancel that, so I can make a new digital card, use that to start the trial and then delete the card. And it is so much easier process. With Crew, it is one of the very few accounts which gives you interest in the UK on your current account. So that's why I have different digital accounts, and I can do a very detailed video of the different features they offer. But for now, for this particular video, and if you're moving to the UK and you're confused about which bank to go for, I'll personally suggest you choose any high street bank. It does not matter. Yes, some banks will be very easy. Some banks will be like, you can just fill a form online and your account will be open in a couple of days. You don't even need to visit a branch. In some banks, you might have to visit a branch, but that will be only for the first time. So yes, the process might slightly differ for each bank, but remember this, that is only first time, and it will not matter after your account has opened. So let's say if you were leaning towards NatWest because you like their services, you like the brand, you just, vibe with it. But you were like, okay, I'm not sure, it might take a long time, I might have to visit the branch. So yes, these things can happen with, different banks, but once you open it, it won't really matter. And if you want my suggestion, which is the easiest bank these days, it is Lloyds. In my masters, I don't know a single person who did not open a Lloyds bank account. Before that, I have friends who have Barclays, HSBC, Nationwide, Metro Bank. A couple of my friends had NatWest, so it didn't really matter back then. But I think in recent years, Lloyd had made it very, very easy to open bank accounts. And if you want, you can choose Lloyd. It will not matter once you have opened your account. And if you have been confused and stressed about which bank will be the best, so you don't make the wrong choice, trust me, there is no wrong choice here. And then in terms of digital, it's just a different kind of service they offer. You can, if you want, you can open all of the digital banks account. It doesn't really matter. But after a certain point, it does get hectic to manage all these accounts. So that was all for this video. I hope you got your answer, and if you have any confusion, please write them in the comment section. I will reply to all of the comments, and if you're new here, please subscribe, hit the like button, and I'll see you in the next one. Till then, goodbye.